Hi there, my name is Jake Wojastik with TrendSpider.com, and I created this video to highlight some of the main capabilities of our platform, which is a platform that you get free access to being a CenterPoint Edge customer. So TrendSpider is really an all-in-one market analysis tool to help you not only with your market analysis, but make all of the trading processes that are involved with trading much more efficient. So instead of having to subscribe to an individual market scanner, a back tester, alert system, all of that is all in one in TrendSpider. So really the first layer that is really nice, especially for making a lot of the searching and manual processes of analysis much more efficient, is the automation layer. So you can see here that we have these buttons at the top. All of these different buttons are different features on the platform. So the first feature on the automation layer is the trends. So you can see here, if I click trends, these trends will automatically pop up on your chart. And these are essentially a function of these different settings here and preferences that you have here when you click the three dots next to trends. So you can change these. You can really tailor it to your style of drawing trend lines. This is not there to replace your analysis. It's there to complement your analysis and help remove bias, as well as keep your analysis consistent. The next thing that we can automate is the gap detection. So what you can do is you can go to what's called the gap detector. It's under the indicators button, and you can actually detect any gaps on the chart automatically, so you don't have to search for gaps, especially when you're using these as potential targets to the upside or the downside. The next thing that we have that you can automate is chart patterns. So you can see here that if I click on chart patterns and click the three dots next to it, you can choose from an ascending triangle, descending triangle, symmetrical triangle, and anytime that chart, any of those chart patterns are visible on the chart you're looking at, they'll automatically pop up. So you can see here, CHK broke down from its ascending triangle, and now it's trying to continue to the upside. So this can really help you with your just analysis if you're going through 30 charts and you want to look for patterns that may be there that you didn't find immediately with the naked eye. The next thing that you can automate on the platform is candlestick patterns. So you can see here, if I click candle patterns, you'll see that in this case we have an E with a little blue box that pops up. That is simply just standing for the engulfing candlestick pattern. So you can see here, if I type in engulfing, I already have this chosen, but you can choose whatever you want. You can choose a hammer. You can choose a bullish belt hold. You can choose anything that you can really think of. We have over 100 different candlestick patterns that you can choose from, and it can really be an educational tool, but it can also be used in the back tester, in the scanner, and as I mentioned, just visually in case you are trying to train your eye on what different candlestick patterns look like. The next thing that we have on the platform is the alerts. So you can see here that if I pull up the 200-day moving average, and I think price is going to continue to move down to the 200-day moving average like it did back here in July, I can easily go in and right-click, create an alert at this line, and then I can choose how I want price to interact with this level, or I can choose all three. So a breakthrough, a touch, or a bounce off of this area. And then I can add something called sensitivity, which allows me to be alerted when price gets near a level that you're watching, not necessarily right at a level that you are watching, because we know that price is not always perfect in the market. You're going to have times where you're going to have some margin of error around areas. So you can use this on moving averages. You can use it on trend lines. You can use it on Fibonacci levels, anything that's on the upper side of the chart. Now, if you want to create more of a conditional alert, you can go create a multi-factor alert. And maybe you want to simply create an alert on a moving average cross, maybe a 20-50 cross. You can choose your expiration. You can add a note. You can choose how many times you want this alert to go off. You can choose extended hours trading if you want to be alerted during market hours, pre-market, post-market, any of those types of things. And then you simply go in, and instead of having to code in with some type of scripting language the conditions you're looking for, you simply just use Boolean conditional criteria as you can see here. So in this case, click indicator, You choose the daily for the time frame. I'm just going to type in 20 for this, the SMA 20. I want to know when it crosses up through the daily SMA 50. So now anytime the 20 crosses above the 50, I'll be alerted. Now you can do this with as many conditions as you want. I'm just keeping it simple here just for the example that we're going over. Let's say that you find a moving average cross, or somebody tells you about a moving average cross, and you want to back test it and see how has that performed over a certain amount of time. You can test this strategy as an entry or an exit condition and just click entry condition here. So your entry condition is essentially the alert that we created, the 20 crossing up through the 50. You can choose your exit conditions. If you add a script, you can simply just do the opposite. So your exit condition is when the 20 crosses down through the 50. So now that our entry and exit conditions are defined on the back tester, you can choose how far back you want to look. Let's say 3,000 candles. And you'll see here that in this case, over the last 2 years of data, there have been 5 different positions analyzed with a mean trade return of 4.33%. Not only does it tell you that, it tells you what the performance is of this strategy versus just buying and holding, in this case, CHK. So technically, this is a profitable strategy with a 21.27% profit if you would have traded this based on those conditions that we just went over. But if you would have just bought CHK 2 years ago and held it, you'd be up 127%. So this really helps keep you honest and really helps remove that bias that you may have when you are testing a strategy. This keeps it just fully data, and that's it. No assumptions, no opinions, hard data. Now you also have some statistical data here, your win rate, your loss rate, max drawdown, average win, those types of things here. So there's a lot of different data that you can get from this. And really, as I mentioned, keep you honest with your trading strategy instead of trying to, find a strategy that works just because you want it to. Numbers don't lie, and the back tester definitely does not lie either. Now, you can also bring the same type of logic to the market scanner. So you can simply go in and create any type of condition that you want. You can scan for an ascending triangle. You can scan for a candlestick pattern. You can scan for anything that you can think of. So if you wanted to scan for, let's say, if you want to scan through the S&P 500 and you wanted to simply scan for a daily bullish engulfing candle that formed the previous day, go in, click scan, and then you will find all of these different candles that did form a bullish engulfing candle the next day. So here we're on Ulta. Our candle here was engulfing the previous body of the previous candle. And so that's why it's a bullish engulfing candle. And same thing, you can add as many conditions as you want. You could add bullish engulfing with an RSI above 50 or anything like that. You simply just go to condition, indicator, daily, type in RSI is greater than, let's say, the constant value of 50. And you can go as many lines of conditional criteria as you want. And the point is, you don't want to have a ton of different symbols that pop up. If you have a really robust scanner, maybe you only want 5 different symbols to pop up when you run a scan. So it's a very unique scan that you're running. You can use this on technicals. You can also use it on news. You can use it on dividend dates. You can use it on earnings dates. So it's not just a technical scanner. It's also a scanner that looks at more fundamentals, news content, analyst estimates, all of these different types of things you can also scan. So it's a very powerful scanner that allows you to create very complex conditions without the need to do any coding. We also have a library of different scans that we've already created. So if you want to test out different scans that other people have made or we've made internally, you can check those out here as well. So definitely something to check out. The scanner is something that is very powerful and usually something you have to pay for separately for just a single platform only having a scanner. This is just one of many features that we have on TrendSpider. The next thing that I'd like to go over is the widgets. So we have a sidebar widget here that has a number of things that you can look at, such as a watch list or a scanner that you created, alerts that are currently live, news, analyst estimates. So for example, if I click analyst estimates and click done, you'll see for Ulta, what has been ranked a buy, hold, or sell over the last year, how many analysts have come out with those. For example, over the last year, you've had 36 buy ratings that have come in for Ulta. You've had 6 hold ratings and 0 sell ratings. So this is something that really can give you more insight into what Wall Street is looking at and how they're viewing the stock that you're trading. The next thing that you can utilize is the seasonality. So you can go in and you can see, okay, since pretty much the bottom in 2009, how has Ulta performed over each month? So these percentages are essentially win rates. So in this case, you can see November has an 86%. That means that 86% of the time, November has a higher monthly close than October. And then you can see here for August with the 50%, that means that only 50% of the time, August closes higher than July. So definitely one of the weaker months. So this will give you an idea of, from a seasonal perspective, is there a particular month of the year that performs better than another month? If you're more of a short-term trader, you can look at the day of the week seasonality. Maybe you want to look at since the beginning of the year, or since the beginning of the quarter. Let's do January of 2022. Is there a particular day of the week that has an edge? And you can create a strategy around it. Friday has a 40% win rate versus across looking at Thursday's close. So do you buy the dip on Friday and sell into the strong seasonality for Monday? There's all different types of things you can do with the seasonality feature on the platform. The next one that I'll point out here, we have notes. So if you want to make any notes on the platform about a specific stock that you're looking at, you can do that with the notes widget. We have insider trading. So if you want to look and see what are insiders doing, are there any buys, are there any sells, you can do that with the insider trading widget. And you can also have unusual options. So for example, here, if you have unusual options, you essentially are getting unusual options data without having to subscribe to a different platform just to look at unusual options. This is just another tool that we have that is included in this all-in-one platform. So you can change and filter out your expiration dates. You can filter out your premium, your strike, all of these different things to get a visual of where these orders have come in. The last one that I'll touch on is platform exploration. So this essentially tells you how much of the platform have you looked at, how much do you still have to look at. And it's such a dense platform, you may never get through this whole thing, because from this video, I've probably touched on maybe 60 to 70% of the platform. And so this is something that you really can dive deep into and make sure that you're finding every single part of the platform and every tool and feature out there. The last thing that I'll touch on is some of the proprietary things that we have on the platform. The most proprietary feature that we have is something called a raindrop chart. This allows you to essentially see a candlestick as a volume weighted candle instead of just an open and close, high and low. So this essentially has the market profile, the volume profile within the candle, with the left bar being your VWAP for the first half of the time frame you're looking at, and then the right-hand side being the VWAP for the second half that you're looking at. This is something that is really powerful because it can tell you, is there conviction by buyers when something breaks out? For example, here, if you're watching simply this area right here, and you can see price broke out here, notice that you don't have a lot of volume profile. It's almost flat. So there wasn't a lot of conviction by buyers when the price went above this area. And a lot of the time, this is a sign of a reversal. And you can see here that we had a multi-day reversal after that. And then on the flip side, whenever you have a lot of volume at the top of a candle, generally you can tell that buyers are in control. So really using these around resistance and support zones and seeing, okay, is there volume above resistance? Is there volume below support? Who's in control, buyers or sellers? Is there conviction by the buy side? Is there no conviction by the buy side? And that's exactly what these raindrops will show you. So hopefully this video was helpful in understanding some of the main tools and layers of the platform. As I mentioned, we do have university videos that you can go and check out. These essentially touch on a lot of the different features that I touched on, just in more detail. So as I mentioned, thank you so much for watching this video and checking out what is possible on the platform. And as I mentioned, it's completely free with your CenterPoint Edge. I don't want to say subscription, but being a customer at CenterPoint Edge. And please let us know if you have any questions, if you do decide to get access to your free account. And we're always happy to answer any questions you have. We have a 24/7 customer support team that's happy to help. And we really hope that you enjoy the platform, and happy trading.